I'm going to go over 3 problems from your homework 10 assignment, starting with question 15. And I know all of this stuff is pretty straightforward in terms of, switching from A to T and switching from C to G and vice versa. But just sometimes some of the problems can look trickier than they actually are. So this question 15 is giving you a DNA strand, template strand. And it's asking you to write the amino acid sequence from that. So what I want to lay out for you, and this is actually, you have a figure in your book that has the same information. So this is figure 2210 in your textbook, and it just sort of organizes the relationship between the 2 DNA strands, the mRNA strand, the tRNAs, and then the amino acids that come together. So we have the DNA strand that carries the information. So that's our informational strand of DNA, and that strand runs 5' to 3' left to right the way we read it. That is the strand, again, that contains the information about the amino acids and the protein. Then from that, we have the template strand. So both of these are the DNA. The template strand is the one that's actually read as the mRNA is being synthesized, because the mRNA wants to be a replica of the informational strand. So the mRNA needs to read the template so that it can mirror the informational strand. So the mRNA, just like the informational strand, the mRNA is going to go 5' to 3', and it's going to be, for the most part, a perfect match, except for the A versus, the T versus U thing. And then the tRNA is going to, tRNA doesn't have a strand, so it's not 5' to 3', but it's going to be complementing this strand right here. And then we're going to get the polypeptides or the amino acids. And the amino acids that we get when we read them off of the table are going to be based on the mRNA strand, based on the codons in the mRNA. So when you're looking at the amino acid table, the codon table, you're matching those nucleotides with the mRNA strand, not the tRNA. So this question is asking us to write the amino acid sequence that is going to come from the template strand. So that means we have to do a little bit of translating here. We are being given, I'm going to erase some of this highlighting. We are starting in this particular problem, we're starting at the template strand, which means we're starting right here. We're trying to get all the way down to the amino acid strand. So what we need to do is take the template strand and we need to turn it into an mRNA strand, which we will then, we're just going to basically ignore the whole tRNA thing and read the codons off of the mRNA. So the mRNA that is going to come from this template will be UGG. I'm going to put some spaces. U. So I'm separating them into their codons. And GGC. And now what we need to do is go to a table of codons and see what that codes for. UGG codes for TRP. UUU codes for PHE, and GGC codes for GLY, assuming I did not read any of those letters incorrectly. So now let's see what else we're going to work on. We're going to also take a look at question 18. This one's actually easier than the last one. here is an mRNA sequence and what amino acid sequence is coded for by the mRNA. So again, we're skipping the tRNA because the amino acids are read directly based on the codons in the mRNA. So when we're looking up the codons, we're looking up C, C, G, and CAC, and GGA, and UAU. We're looking those ones up directly. CCG is PRO. I can't quite read what I wrote there. CAC is HIS. GGA is GLY, and UAU is TYR, again, assuming that I've looked at everything correctly. When we are, again, the mRNA is the one that has the codons, and so the mRNA sequence is the one that we read to get the amino acid, the order of the amino acids. So even though tRNA is an important step in this, we don't read the tRNA base pairs or nucleotides when we're trying to come up with the amino acid sequence. We read the mRNA and kind of ignore tRNA. And the last question that we're going to look at, 20. So this one is trickier. This one we have to think about, again, a little bit more. So here we have our non-template strand. This says the DNA sequence is part of the non-template strand, also called the coding strand, also called, our book calls it the informational strand. So this is giving us the info strand, 5' to 3'. From that, we have to figure out what the template is. The template is going to read 3' to 5'. And then from the template, we have to figure out the mRNA strand, which is going to read 5' to 3'. And that is what we are going to read for the amino acids. So you have the info strand. You are going to write its complement, which is going to be the template strand. Then you're going to take the template strand and write its complement to give you the mRNA strand, and you're going to read that for the sequence of amino acids, which you're going to drag right into those boxes.